is what Apple Watch can do for you. So what we want to do with this class today is basically go over some of the things that the Apple Watch can do. It's not necessarily going to be sort of a how to use the Apple Watch so much as just a overall kind of sampler platter, if you will, of some of the capabilities and the great features and kind of benefits of the Apple Watch itself. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Let me first get started by showing you what we have right now as far as the actual Apple Watch lineup. So these are the current selection of Apple Watches. We've got on the left here the Apple Watch Series 1, and we're going to kind of get into some of the differences a little bit later as far as, you know, what the distinction is there between the Apple Watch Series 1 and the Series 2. We've got the Apple Watch Series 2, the second one in there from the left. We've also got now the Apple Watch Series 2 Nike Plus Edition. So they partnered up with Nike and made those watches pretty cool and unique in certain ways, as far as the bands that you can get with them, and also some other things that make it really suited to kind of athletic use and kind of running and things like that. We've also got the Apple Watch Hermès edition. I'm going to hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hermès, they partnered up with a fashion brand and actually have, you know, got some really beautiful high fashion bands that you can get with that watch, which is awesome. So it's not just a practical sort of thing, it's also a style statement as far as the Apple Watch. And on the end there, we also have the Apple Watch Edition. So that's kind of their overall kind of best Apple Watch in terms of its the design and basically the materials that they use. They actually use a special ceramic material to make that watch. That one used to be the one that, I don't know if you heard, it was made in gold. They've actually switched over to a ceramic watch for this one, but also a very, very, very amazing watch in and of itself. So this is something to keep in mind. Apple Watch, #1 selling smartwatch on the market, and also #1 in customer satisfaction. So if you guys are not an owner yet, this is good for you to know. You know, this is a very, very good watch. When it comes to smartwatches, it's one of the best. You know, right up there as far as ease of use, functionality, everything you would expect from, you know, an Apple device, basically. Okay. So let's actually get into now talking about some of the things that Apple Watch can do. So definitely one of the overall kind of primary uses for the Apple Watch is as a tool to help you track your health and also overall fitness, you know, and help you kind of work toward goals and track workouts and things like that. And it's great because, you know, it's something that lives on your wrist, right? It's actually on your body, right? It's not in your pocket or, you know, at home. It's actually with you throughout the day. So it can not only track kind of your actual workouts, but also all of those steps and things that you're doing throughout your day as you're, you know, going to the store or whatever you might be doing. You know, it's all kind of building up and building this picture really of your health, essentially. So one of the things that the Apple Watch does is it has this activity app, basically. And the activity, you know, this is kind of a colorful graphic that shows you your overall activity levels for several different types of activity throughout the day. And so what we have here, we basically have 3 bands or rings. The outer ring is kind of your overall, what they call your move goal or your move band. So anytime you're actively walking or moving, basically that band is kind of advancing. So it's basically your overall activity throughout the day. The light green band is your actual, what they call like the workout goal. Okay, so when you're doing things that they say at or above the level of like a brisk walk, basically, or things that are a little more intense. That's going to be counting towards your workout goal, or also when you're actually doing a workout, which we'll look at as well. That's going to kind of be completing that ring. And then the inner one is your stand goal. Okay, so you guys may know, it's been shown, and we've started to find out that, the more you stand throughout the day, even if it's for shorter periods of time, the healthier you are overall, right? It helps with circulation. It's just an overall beneficial thing for health as a whole. So basically, what the Apple Watch will do is it'll look at, whether you're sitting or standing. It can actually tell using the sensors that are inside the accelerometers and so forth. And if you stand for at least, I think it's a minute, in one of the minutes within every hour, it will count toward your goal, essentially. So, and it's cool because these can all be customized. Like, you can set your own goals, and it's all very much customizable to you as far as, what you want to do fitness-wise. If you want to keep it more conservative, or if you really want to, you're training for a race or a marathon or something like that, and you really need to kind of up those goals. And it's fun too because, I've found, at least for myself, and I think a lot of other people, it becomes almost like a game, right? It's turning into more of a game. You're not thinking of exercise as kind of this thing that you have to do. It's like, oh, I want to complete my rings. I want to kind of get that reward. And that's another thing. They do give you kind of rewards in the watch app that's on your iPhone. You'll see like achievements and stuff in there. So definitely a fun thing. And then also another aspect of the activity is the activity sharing. So again, this makes it fun, because you can actually share your activity with other people, whether it's your family or your coworkers or whatever it might be, and it kind of becomes this competitive thing, where you guys are all trying to, keep each other in line, right? Like, come on, you got to meet your goals. You don't want to be put to shame, right? So that's another thing you can do with the Apple Watch and the activity app there. And then, of course, another thing is, as far as fitness and health, we have the workout feature or app within the Apple Watch. So the workouts, this is really where you really get into kind of the more, the actual kind of workouts you might do as far as whether you're going on a run or you're going swimming or you're, doing any of these different types of activities. This workout is actually going to track things a little more intensively and get in more detail as far as that activity. So it's actually going to track things like your distance, your BPM as you're going along, your heart rate, time elapsed, things like that. And also, now with the Series 2, having the built-in GPS. So that's one difference with the Apple Watch Series 2 from the Series 1, is that it does have a built-in GPS antenna. So what that lets it do is actually track where you go and your distance on that run or walk or whatever you might be doing. And then that's cool too because for one thing, you don't have to bring your iPhone with you to kind of get that route map. And then also, you get stuff like this where you can actually go in and kind of review where you were on your run or your bike ride or whatever it was. And then it's nice also because you can actually see on that route where you were running your fastest, right? And so the colors kind of correspond to maybe where you were sprinting or maybe taking it a little easier, things like that. So it's a really, really cool way to track your activity. Gives you a lot of great information. And now I just want to delve into that a little bit more too as far as the workouts are concerned. One thing about the Apple Watch Series 2 is the fact that it is actually more water resistant now than the Series 1. So the Series 2 is actually water resistant up to 50 meters. Okay, so not only can you get it wet, but you can actually take it in the water with you. Okay, so if you're a swimmer, something like that, you can actually fully submerge this Apple Watch and not have to worry about it getting damaged. Okay, so swimming, You know, surfing, of course, very, very prevalent here. Kayaking, all that stuff. You can definitely use the Apple Watch Series 2 for any of those activities. Okay? Water resistant to 50 meters, so pretty cool. Also, you know, another thing as far as the fitness and activity is concerned, if you're, you know, maybe wanting something a little more kind of mellow and not so kind of fast-paced, there's also this really great thing now within the Apple Watch, which is the breathe reminders, okay? So I know it sounds kind of funny because, you know, you don't really need a reminder to breathe, hopefully, but this is referring more to kind of the deep breathing and again, something that's been shown to really help influence health in a positive way. You know, what it'll do is it'll give you a reminder at certain points throughout the day. And if you choose to actually go ahead and do that breathe exercise, what it will do is actually walk you through kind of a guided meditation almost, where it's kind of telling you, okay, go ahead and exhale, inhale. So breathe.
You need that right now.
What's that? I know, right? Yeah, seriously. All right, so now let's kind of move on here and talk about another aspect to what the Apple Watch can do, and that is helping facilitate communication, right? Keeping in touch with people. It's definitely one of the great uses for the Apple Watch, you know, because again, it brings things to your wrists, right? You don't have to have your phone out, you just have it right there in plain view. So you can do things like text messages, you know, you can receive those messages and see them on your watch, and then you can also respond to those messages and send messages back. You can do that via voice dictation, you know, so if you've kind of done that before, dictating a message to your phone or something, kind of the same idea. You can use emoji, which are also a great, you know, very kind of expressive way to respond to something. And also, if you guys have tried out any of like the new kind of messaging features, like the tap messages or anything like that, where you can kind of tap on the screen and it's no? Anybody? No? Okay. Yeah? Okay, nice. So it's just kind of a fun thing, you know, you can like do little taps with your finger in various ways and they'll see it on the other end. So just different ways to kind of enrich the way you communicate with people. Also like screen effects, for example, right? So if you've got a celebration or something, you can do confetti. So all kinds of fun stuff you can do as far as messaging is concerned. Also another really cool way that they have to compose your messages is this new feature called Scribble. So what it does is it actually lets you, I don't know if you caught the graphic there, but it actually lets you, here maybe I'll go back and show you again. So you'll see it. So it actually lets you kind of trace the letter that you're trying to type on that little trackpad there, and it will translate that and type that letter. So another way that you can kind of compose that message, since obviously it would be kind of hard to fit a keyboard right on that screen. That might be a little frustrating. So this is the way that they've come up with to you know, write those messages, and it works really well. I've used it myself. It actually does work great. So also another thing, of course, phone calls, right? So you get phone calls throughout the day. That's another thing that the Apple Watch will support. So you can actually get those calls forwarded to your Apple Watch, so you can see them coming in, and you can actually answer it on your watch. You know, because the Apple Watch has a built-in microphone and a built-in speaker, you can kind of do the Star Trek thing and actually speak into your watch and do the call that way. So another way to keep in touch with the Apple Watch. And also, you know, if any of this is kind of too overwhelming for you, you definitely have the ability to customize these notifications. So just like with many of their other devices, they're very customizable, right? So if you want to kind of filter out some of the noise and not get so many notifications, or say the breathe reminders or the stand reminders, you can choose not to receive those things. So, you know, you don't have to worry about getting kind of overwhelmed by all of the stuff that it's throwing at you. Okay, so let's also talk about some of the other things that the Apple Watch can do. This is actually one that I've been enjoying a lot lately because I'm also a Mac user. The Unlock Mac feature. So you guys probably know if you have your computer set up so that like you have to type in a password when you first like wake it up from sleep or turn it on. The Apple Watch can actually act as a way to unlock your Mac for you. So like the way I have it set up, for example, on my laptop is when I open the screen, normally I would have had to type in a password, but now the way I have it set up, since I have my Apple Watch, is it just goes ahead and unlocks when it senses my Apple Watch is nearby. So I actually just open my lid, it says unlocking for like maybe 2 seconds, the same amount of time it would take me to type my password, and I'm into my Mac. Didn't even have to type. So that's a really great feature, a great thing that the Apple Watch can do now. Also, the controlling of the home. So I don't know if you guys have kind of gotten into or heard about any of the HomeKit stuff that Apple's trying to do now with like home automation. We've got things now like, for example, like the Philips Hue light bulbs, or there's like plugs that they make for the home that you can plug in like a fan or heater, stuff like that. And you can actually control that stuff from your various devices. You know, so rather than having to flip a switch or turn something on, you can actually just manage that on your watch. You know, press a button, turn on your lights, press another button. You know, this one's actually showcasing a HomeKit enabled security camera. You know, which is another thing you can get. And we actually have some of the HomeKit devices here as well. If you guys are curious about those things, we have also some of them set up here. We can kind of demo for you if you're interested in that. We also do the on-site work, so we can come into your house and actually set that up for you and get your house all, you know, modernized and very techy if you want that. But that being said, it's not techy in the sense that it's hard to learn. It's very easy. It's very Apple as far as how it works. So also Siri. You guys might have used Siri at some point, right? Very helpful virtual assistant, right? Our sort of digital secretary, if you will. Siri is also integrated to the Apple Watch. So on your wrist, you can do all the things with Siri that you would be used to doing on, say, an iPhone or now a Mac with Sierra. So you have the ability to, you know, ask Siri to send a message, or in this case, it's even showcasing the fact that it does tie in with Lyft, for example, and also like Uber, and it will, I see you mouthing. No, this is more, again, this is more of a overall, what can it do? Not so much how can we do it. For that, we have other classes. But so Siri, definitely very useful on the Apple Watch, just like with the other devices. Also, Apple Pay. Okay, who's used Apple Pay before? Great. Very easy, right? Works great. You just hold your phone next to the terminal and boom, it authorizes. You know, it's awesome. And it's very secure. You know, it never actually sends your credit card details to that merchant. It uses something called tokenization to basically make each transaction unique, so you don't have to worry about, you know, a data breach, getting your credit card number, anything like that. Also on the Apple Watch, so you'll have your cards on your watch, and you can actually just hold your watch near the terminal, and just like with your iPhone, it kind of senses that it's next to it, and lets you just pay using your Apple Watch instead. And if you have multiple cards set up, you can choose which one you want to use. If you have a business card for some things and a personal card for others, or what have you, you have that ability all on the wrist, for sure. Cool. So now let's actually get into talking about, we talked about some of the things it can do. Like I said though, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about the differences between, you know, the Series 2 and the Series 1. And in case you're a prospective buyer, or maybe you're a Series 1 owner or a Sport owner or something like that, and you're considering an upgrade, let's talk about some of the things that make the Series 2 unique, because it is different in a few key ways. So one thing that they did with the Series 2 is it has a second generation display that actually, so they use a term called nits to measure the brightness of a screen. And basically the original display was 450 nits, and the new display is 1,000 nits. So a little more than twice as bright. And so what that equates to in terms of actual use is, if you're in a brighter environment, where you've got sunlight kind of beating down on the watch, you're still going to be able to see the display. It's still going to be nice and clear and vibrant, and more visible as you're going about your day. So more than twice as bright. Really great. We also have a new processor in the Series 2. So this is a dual-core processor that's up to 50 times faster than the original processor, which again, kind of jargon that's being thrown around, but in terms of how that actually equates to when you're using the watch, basically it means that apps will open faster, things will load faster, things will be smoother, if you're kind of scrolling through pictures or something like that. It just makes everything more fluid, as you're using the Apple Watch. So dual-core processor, also better GPU, right? And so this is the graphics processor. So this is going to, when you're doing things on the Apple Watch that are more graphical in nature, right? Have more kind of different colors or movement going on the screen. That stuff is also going to look a lot better or work a lot better on that Apple Watch Series 2. Okay. We also have, again, we have the Hermès Apple Watch, the Series 2, and again, this is unique to the Series 2. So with this Apple Watch, they've got, again, some unique bands. For example, the double buckle cuff here, a really beautiful band, very stylish. They're actually handmade by artisans in France, as a matter of fact. So really, really beautiful options there with the Hermès watch. No problem. That's all right. Oh, you're getting it on your Apple Watch too, right? That's okay. No worries. And then we've also got, with the Hermès, you've got the orange sport bands. So another option there. We also have the Apple Watch Edition. Okay. So this is again, kind of the highest end Apple Watch that they have in terms of the materials that they use. This uses a brilliant white ceramic, okay? The ceramic is, for one thing, beautiful, but also very strong. It's an extremely strong material, made to be very, very durable, as are all of the other ones, but this is actually even stronger, 4 times harder than stainless steel. So pretty amazing materials that go into that Apple Watch. Okay, and that is unique again to the Series 2. So that is kind of the lineup of features that are unique to the Series 2. Okay, and now not to be forgotten, of course, we have the Apple Watch Series 1. And so we'll talk just a little bit. We've got some features on that. We've got all the features of the original Apple Watch. We still have the dual-core processor and the 2-time faster GPU on the Series 1. So you're still getting an upgrade if you're going from, say, an Apple Watch Sport to a Series 1. Aluminum cases, Ion-X strengthened glass. Again, very, very strong, durable materials that they're using to make these Apple Watches. And the fluoroelastomer bands are a great material as far as their, again, durability. They don't tend to kind of, get stained or anything like that. They hold up very well as far as their color and all of that. So definitely a great lineup of watches. And that's what we've got as far as the Apple Watches. Okay? And just a couple more things here. We've got one thing I wanted to just bring up as well. In addition, we've got some really great tie-ins on the Apple Watch with third-party apps as well. So if there are apps that you guys use on your phones, for example, your iPads, you've got all that functionality as well on the Apple Watch. You've got things like the Pocket Yoga app, the Washington Post app here, Ping, which is a golf app if any of you guys are familiar with that. So all kinds of different things that you can have on your wrist as far as the Apple Watch is concerned. Really, really great stuff. Cool. And yeah, that is basically what I've got for you. I think some of these slides somehow got pushed down farther in the presentation, but that's basically what I've got for you today as far as, overall what the Apple Watch can do for you. Hopefully this kind of gave you guys a sense of, if you don't already own one, how you might be able to see it integrating into, your life and hopefully improving it.